अस्सलाम वालेकुम। तो अब हम हैंडआउट डिस्कस करेंगे। आई होप यू हैव अटेम्प्टेड द हैंडआउट. Let's start off with the first question. In the first question, it says a large number of people in Ward X of the city are diagnosed to be suffering from a fatal malaria type. Now, the courses of action that have been proposed, the first one says the city municipal authority should take immediate steps to carry out extensive fumigation where in Ward X. Now, this is a problem because if you want to kill malaria and kill the mosquito, you have to go in the area where these mosquitoes are present and not in the hospital ward because they've already been infected. So, unless until उस ward के अंदर भी mosquitoes हैं, तो ठीक है. That doesn't really make sense. So, obviously, this is not the right course. The second one says the people in the area should be advised to take steps to avoid mosquito bites. This makes sense because when the people are advised to take steps to people are advised to take steps to avoid mosquito bites, they will use the right kind of medicines, wear the right kind of clothes, and then hopefully they will be able to not get infected with malaria. Okay, so this can help decrease the incidence of malaria. So B makes sense and therefore is the right answer. Going on to the second question says, a large number of people die every year due to heat strokes during the summer. Heat strokes and during the summer. What are the courses of action? The first one proposes the government should make adequate arrangements to provide places for people to shelter. Yes, if they provide places for people to shelter during the heat, they can avoid the deaths and strokes. Second one says the people should be educated about wearing the right kind of clothes. If people wear the right kind of clothes, which also means not just the clothes that they wear on the body, but also their hat, they will, if they're wearing light colored clothes, they will have fewer chances of getting the stroke. So this also makes sense. So these are two courses. Both of them seem fine to me because they both will help decrease strokes. So the answer should be E. Question 3 says there is an unprecedented increase in migration of villagers. There are lots and lots of people coming in, villagers to urban, as repeated crop failures has put them into precarious financial situation. So crop failures has led to bad worsening financial situation, and therefore they have migrated. So what should they do? What should the course of action be to stop the increase in migration? So anything that makes their financial situation better inside the village will decrease the migration. Okay, so let's look at the courses of action that they have proposed. The first one says, the first one says the villagers should be provided with alternate source of income in their villages, which will make them stay put. That makes sense. Second one says the migrated villagers should be provided with jobs in the urban areas. In urban areas, if you provide jobs in the urban areas, then more people will actually migrate. So this will not solve the problem of increasing migration. You want to decrease the migration, and you want people to spread out so that it is better for everyone of the country and so the resources are not stretched. So you have to provide them with an opportunity in their villages. So second one says provide them opportunities in urban areas. So isliye it doesn't make sense. It's not the right solution. So the right answer is going to be A. All right, let's look at question number 4 now. 4 says, as stated in the recent census report, the female to male ratio is alarmingly low. Okay, so there are fewer females and more males. So what should be the course of action? Anything that decreases the males or maybe increases, not decreases the male, because that doesn't make sense. You don't want to kill males, but anything that increases the ratios, that is by uh, uh, making sure that females are not discouraged. Females that are about to be born are not killed will increase the ratio. So let's look at the first statement. The first statement says the first action. The first action says the government should conduct another census to verify the result. This is obviously not the right answer, because the assumption is that the statement is correct. If the statement is correct, you know that the females and male ratio is worsening. So if it is worsening, it is correct, then there is no point doing another census. Okay, so always remember, this is a very important point. The statement is assumed to be correct. Okay, you can't just doubt the accuracy of the statement again. So please, so that's why the first statement is actually, the first action is actually incorrect. The second one says the government should immediately issue orders to all departments to encourage people to improve the ratio. So if you can encourage people to improve the ratio by and by educating them, you will be able to increase the female to male ratio. So second statement follows. So B is the right answer. Okay. Question number 5 says four districts in state A have been experiencing severe drought for the last 3 years, resulting in exodus of people from the districts. So there are two problems: exodus of districts, and that is because of drought. Okay. So what are the courses of action? So the courses of action should address exodus of people. Exodus means people are leaving that area. So if you can stop them from leaving the area, but obviously you can't just stop them by making walls and all, by doing something positive. And if you can solve the problem of drought by arranging water through other streams and rivers and all, so you can solve the problem. So the action should focus on making the conditions of drought, alleviating the conditions of drought, so that people have more water, and stopping people from migrating by giving them food and water in the short term. So if you look at the first course of action, it says the government should immediately start food for work program. So if they give food for work program, so people would temporarily stop, because they have options. They have food and water for the time being. Okay. So this would temporarily be a solution. The second one says the government should make sincere efforts to provide drinking potable water to these districts. So if government can provide drinking water, then the problem will be solved, and then people will not move, will not leave, go away. So they'll stay in their areas. So both the statements can be are fine, and basically दोनों answer होंगे 1 and 2. Okay. All right. Question number 6 says the sale of a particular product has gone down considerably. Sale कम हो गई है, has decreased, causing great concern. So anything that increases the sale will be an action. So if the first one says the company should make a proper study of rival products, they should make a proper study, because then they will be able to identify and then work on the product. So one makes sense. Second says the price of the product should be reduced and quality improved. So this also makes sense. If you reduce the price and thereby improving the quality, the law of demand says when you decrease price, your uh, quantity demanded increases. And if you are also quality आप नहीं गिरा रहे, you are improving the quality and at the same time decreasing the price, that will give you added way advantage. Okay, but अगर वो कहता price गिराओ quality भी गिरा दो, दोनों गिरा दो, then it would have been a problem. So this also is a solution as well. So over here the answer should be D, both 1 and 2. Since it's on the next page, I'm just writing it over here, but the answer for question number 6 should be D. Sorry, E. Both 1 and 2 for not D but E. The answer to 6 should be E. Okay. Number 7 says PTV is concerned about the quality of its programs, particularly in view of stiff competition it is facing from other satellite TV channels, and is contemplating means thinking, various measures to attract talent. You want to attract talent for its programs. Okay, so that means he wants the PTV wants the right people. So courses of action. In an effort to attract talent, the PTV has decided to revise its fee structure for the artists. So this is a course of action. If you're paying more, you can attract more people, more talented people as well. Second one says the fee structure should not be revised until other electronic media also revise it. But the other electronic media is not facing a problem. Or maybe if they are, it's not being addressed over here. The question is how should PTV do it? So any action that helps attract talent will serve. So the second one does not tell you how it will attract talent. In fact, if you're not revising fees or कुछ और भी नहीं कर रहे at the same time, then why would people want to come in? Okay. So this is the second statement is obviously not correct. So the answer has got to be A. Okay, let's look at question number 8. 8 says the minister said that teachers are still not familiarized. The important thing, teachers are still not familiarized with the need, importance, and meaning of population education in the higher education system. They are not even clearly aware about their role and responsibilities in the population education program. Okay, so let's talk about teachers. The course of action. Anything that makes teachers familiarize and understand is the course of action in this case. ठीक है, that's the objectivity over here. हमें teachers पे focus करना है. So the first one says population education program should be included in the college curriculum. So this is not focusing on the teachers. The question over here is, the problem is the awareness of the teachers, and we have to focus on increasing the awareness of the teachers. The first statement is too generic and it talks about including it for people, but that's not addressing the problem. Second says the orientation program should be conducted for teachers. So again यहाँ पे teachers के लिए है, so this makes sense. ठीक है, so if it were for general population, then with the orientation program for students hota, then again ये भी answer नहीं होता. Why? Because it still does not address teachers. Okay जी, going on to question number 9. 9 says a recent study shows that children below 5 die in the cities of the developing countries, below 5 and cities of developing countries, mainly from pyorrhea and parasitic intestinal worms. Okay, so course of action, developing countries is the problem and children below 5 are facing the problem. So the developing countries, children below 5 in the developing countries are actually facing the problem. So anything that makes the condition of children below 5 in the developing countries better will be a solution. So if you look at the first statement, it says government of the developing countries should take adequate measures to improve the hygienic conditions. So that makes sense. If you improve the hygiene, you will have fewer cases of diarrhea and parasitic intestinal worms. Second one says children below 5 years in the cities of developing countries need to be kept under periodical medical check. Again, children under below 5 years, if you keep them in check, you may be able to identify the problems that they have and may be able to stop them from having diarrhea and parasitic intestinal worms. So they both address children under 5 in developing countries, and they both address diarrhea and parasitic intestinal worms. ठीक है, इसलिए हमारा आंसर हो जाएगा 1 and 2 both are correct, तो E हो जाएगा. Okay, question 10 says the kharif crop have been affected by the insects for consecutive 3 years. Kharif crops affected by the insects for consecutive 3 years, and the farmers harvested less than 50% of the produce. Basically, what जिन्होंने जितना भी harvest किया था, उसका 50% से कम उनको मिला because of the pests. Okay, so courses of action. The farmer should seek measures to control the attack of insects to protect. Yes, so if they seek measures, they have the right medicine, they use the right medicines, then they will be able to solve the problem. The government should increase the support price of kharif crops considerably to protect the economic interests of farmer. Okay, this is also a course of action. Why? Because if the government increases support price, farmers have the cash flow to be able to continue farming and also be able to afford uh, the fertilizers and the medicines to counter this thing. So इसलिए the second statement also addresses that fact. इसलिए both 1 and 2 are correct and the answer should be 10. So that's about it. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.